I may have gone too far in a few places.
April Fools, everyone! It's Deep Dive World, a Super Mario Bros. Review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. And guys, I was really excited to do an April Fools episode where we talk about Sonic the Hedgehog instead of Mario, but Nintendo showed me up by releasing a visual novel game where you investigate the murder of Mario. So it's like, how can I even top that?
Yeah, it's a darn shame, but I mean, I gotta press on anyway.
Yeah, so instead we're doing a completely normal episode of our show where we review, obviously, Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo NES Entertainment System, which is sort of like saying ATM machine, but don't worry about it. This is a game brought to us by somebody.
Somari team.
Yes, also known as, I think, Hummer Team.
Oh, right, Nintendo R&D Run. Got it.
Yeah,
So, of
yes,
course,
of course,
you know, we've got Mario here on the title. I don't know why it says something other than that, but, you know, he's doing his normal pose, doing his normal two fingers, just as you expect. Got his peach arms and his big emblem, and, you know, the green hills rolling in the background. Normal Mario stuff.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Starting off, I was like, yeah, I can see how this would be a rival to Sonic the Hedgehog, but as we actually get into the gameplay, yikes.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about Mario like he's this giant gaming icon, but the way that this game plays is, I'm not sure about how I feel about that. We start out here, you know, very similar to Sonic in Gren Heil, which is, you know, it's the normal Mario location that you see in all the new Mario games, but it's kind of bad.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got all the actual content that you would expect, which is kind of cool. I mean, you got the robot Goombas or whatever, and you got the iconic. I think they misspelled World 1-1, to be honest. Music there, so it's kind of impressive what they managed to get on the NES here, but it doesn't function very well. That's certainly true.
Yeah,
yes.
It has a lot of problems with functioning.
Yeah, Mario's controls are simultaneously twitchy and sluggish. His acceleration is very odd, and his handling of terrain is just difficult.
Yeah, the game doesn't seem to understand the concept of momentum.
Yeah, I'm not sure why everyone really talked up Mario's momentum-based gameplay. It's strange.
Yeah, he can't even roll.
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
I'm pretty sure you can.
He doesn't gain speed if you roll down a slope.
He doesn't gain speed no matter what you do.
Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. In terms
he
of
gains speed if you hold the button and there's nothing in your way, but there is always something in your way.
Yeah, this game has the level design I would come up with at like 3 o'clock in the morning drunk.
There are so many enemies.
Yeah, it's the classic. The enemies just come at you with absolutely no warning at all, sniping you out of nowhere. Very punishing gameplay, for sure. Although I will say, in my opinion, not particularly worse than the Mario games on Nintendo's handheld at the time. I don't remember what it was called, but you know, the 8-bit versions. The Boy Gear, right, yes. I mean, it probably is technically worse, but I wasn't... Those hardened me, if you will.
I guess that's fair enough.
It's very frustrating to play just because physics are non-existent. You're kind of stuck in the floor in terms of like visuals.
Yeah,
you know,
I noticed that.
Mario's weird ring-shaped mushrooms, they definitely bounce and you can recollect them, which is better than his first game on the Boy Gear. But
yes, that was very nice.
The level design is soul-sucking, and yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, I will say though, on a more general, maybe better note, I was pleased by the Mario sprites. I think they're actually pretty charming. He looks cute when he's, you know, doing his little run or his crouch and his shove. And this isn't cute, but it's just amusing. Mario on the life icon looks super sleep deprived for some reason.
He's had a rough day. Maybe he had to play this game.
He has had a rough day, but
yeah.
I gotta disagree that his sprite is good. I think the sprite looks terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not super professional. What can you expect?
It looks
Nintendo?
like he looks all bloated.
It's that he puts his arms and legs too far out when he runs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Nintendo is a small company, so you can't really expect
small
too
indie
much
developer.
Of course. Only a few people working there.
Yeah. But yeah, certainly this game gets you have to get used to it. That's the thing. There's just so many weird behaviors. Like when you're rolling, as was mentioned, you just can't control Mario at all, which I expected. But no. You're locked in until he comes to a full stop.
Oh God, yeah.
Or just they do have a lot of features, but they're missing certain features I would expect. Like, normally when Mario collects 100 coins, he gets a 1-up, but not in this game for some reason.
It's
Oh, 'cause
impressive
they
that you
didn't want
managed
you
to
do
get
it too
100.
easy.
Oh
We
yeah, well
both
this
spoke at
game's
once
just
and I
a
heard neither of you.
this game's easier than Nintendo's easiest franchise, Metroid, so it makes sense.
I personally consider their easiest franchise to be F-Zero.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, Shigeru Miyamoto did say that he designed F-Zero to be, babies first, so.
Of course, what's the first thing I'm going to be giving my baby? Fucking F-Zero, whatever.
Dude, the first thing you should be giving your baby is heroin.
Back on topic. This game, while having a lot of features I would expect, missing a few, does have a few that I didn't expect. For instance, when you reach the end of a stage with enough coins, you go into a special stage, very reminiscent of Mario on the Boy Gear, for some reason.
I didn't even see any of those. I never had enough coin shrooms.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
Yeah, they're there. You don't collect the power stars at all. They're completely absent. Instead, you just have bonus games. But the level design is definitely strange. I love this game. Absolutely loves to spam the pits that you cannot escape from with spikes at the bottom, where you just have to wait for your death.
Oh yeah, the first stage has one literally within moments of starting.
It's a problem
Wonderful.
because your coin shrooms can bounce back into you and keep you there forever.
Yes. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes, you could live out your entire existence down there if you chose to.
Thankfully, nothing from SEGA would ever have a death pit like that.
Of course.
Oh, no. I'm sure, and I'm sure if they did, they'd only do it once.
Perhaps they'd even replace it in a future update.
Yeah, probably. Sega doesn't, Nintendo and all that. Anyway, so what was actually another surprise, and I thought maybe one of the stronger points of the game, I don't know for sure on that, because I was spamming save states for this whole experience. I'm sorry, I just can't be bothered.
No, that's fair.
But the boss battles are actually very faithful to what I would expect of a game of this sort.
A Mario
Barring
game, yeah.
graphical errors, I suppose, with
Oh my God, the
Bowser's
sprite flickering.
wrecking ball.
It has
Yeah.
way too much sprite flickering.
Yeah, the bosses are pretty close. They're still annoying to fight because your physics make it way harder to dodge them,
Yeah, that was my biggest problem.
but it technically functions.
The only kind of functioning you really need.
And most stuff is here and accounted for, because we got through World 1-1 Hill Zone, and then we had World 2-1 Hill Marble. That's an inv level.
Yep.
Which definitely is not a huge problem because of how extremely long the acts are, and I definitely didn't want to break my controller in half playing it.
That's fair, but I'm gonna be honest. It's a step up from a theoretical version of this game featuring Sonic. I don't know, that's a weird idea, but where there were like switches that you had to push blocks on and really slowly falling and raising spike things on chains. So at least without hypothetical things like that, it felt not quite as slow, although it's still long, yes. I say it's somewhat of an improvement for that, though.
Yeah, it is definitely better than a worse game you just imagined in your head, I agree.
And that's worth
Of course.
commenting. Anyway, what I can actually honestly say I like about this world is I like the deep magenta coloration. I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that these environments are bad. I'd say that they're probably the best thing about the game is that 8-bit Mario-like environments. They certainly look more like these locations than the Boy Gear did.
Oh, that's true.
The boss of Marvel World 2-1 Hill, that one, is tense because you can just barely make it over the lava gap since you don't have the momentum to make the jumps normally.
Yeah, this game actually has a problem with that a few times, where the levels are designed to just barely work within your jump capabilities. I think there is a part in Marble whatever where you can just barely reach a platform. It becomes a problem again later in a place with water, but yeah, it's funny. It's like it does all work technically, but it feels barely tested.
Mhm.
The same goes for Spring 3.1, which is, it's got the same problems as the previous one, but it still has the waiting for moving platforms and maybe possibly falling through them. And there are repeated moments of level design where you can run through a gauntlet of enemies or platforming or some such, only for it to be a dead end and you have to turn around and go a different way.
Oh, interesting. That never happened to me here.
Well, lucky you.
I guess I just always picked the right path. Um,
Damn.
I didn't have a problem with this world too much, at least relative to the other ones anyway. I was, again, thinking my lucky power stars, that there were no blocks that would crush you. I don't know why I thought there might be, but there weren't, and that's good. But yes, the game is still kind of struggling to fulfill basic functions.
And the bosses is jank too, just because you're like, oh god, am I running out of platforms?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this boss is always stressful in any hypothetical version of this game.
But then it takes us, of course, to Labyrinth 4-4, which is normally, feels like in a Mario game, 4-4 should be the last world, but whatever. It's so long. The first chapter episode took me like 10 minutes to finish because the water slows you down so much.
Honestly, there was too much. I could not do Labyrinth. I could not finish it. There was too much slowdown.
I don't blame you. I was shocked. I haven't played a theoretical version of this game that ever, obviously, but I'm trying to remember it. I feel like it actually was not as bad as this. I don't know. Anyway,
Your memory of things that didn't happen has been very useful for our comparisons here.
thanks. Anytime. I can remember things that do happen though, and trust me, it did happen. I have footage. So there's a hilarious.
I was
glitch.
there. I was the game.
There's a hilarious glitch in this zone where there are these platforms that are supposed to crush you with spikes, but they were programmed badly, and instead they can just rise you into the ceiling, and then you can ascend into the heavens and skip like the entire act, which is how I was able to get through these.
Bust through the heavens with your drill. If you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And, certainly better than, going through the whole thing normally and fighting the auto-scroller boss, which is just as bad, if not worse, as in the hypothetical version you imagined in your head.
I'm glad you're starting to remember that too.
The timelines
Yeah.
are crossing.
They really are. I think we need to move on before this falls apart too much.
Yeah, the last stage, and by last stage I mean maybe not the last stage, the last normal stage is Star 5-4 Light, which is probably the least terrible stage. It felt like the most smooth to move through.
Yeah,
But it's still
pretty
not
much.
great.
No, it isn't.
It's not great, and it's probably just coming off of Labyrinth World. It's just a relief, but yeah, it felt the most forgiving. Still not forgiving, but I was able to run around and go fast, which is what Mario is known for. The different slopes, I will say, are actually remarkably functional. I didn't actually expect that of this game, but they're different angles and they work, so that's cool.
It did lead to a bit where I would repeatedly roll down a hill, but you can't jump out of a roll, so I would just roll into something that killed me because I didn't have any mush coins.
Yes, that happened
Whoops.
to me multiple times.
Never leave home without your mush coins. If you make it home though, you will be greeted by a completely unexpected boss. When I imagined what this zone was like, it was not with this boss. For some reason, it's just a different boss than what I expect. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, normally when you imagine video games in your head, it's because, there makes sense, and a level like this in a video game that you just made up on the spot would probably have, like, spike balls that you hit with levers. But this one just it launches a really annoying arc of bullets to dodge that I hate.
Yeah, I mean, it was fresh and interesting, I guess, but not great.
It felt like
that's for
it felt
sure.
like a boss on one of the Boy Gear games.
Yeah, it does. It does. I agree. Strangely, after you beat the boss, it just sends you to the final world. It's weird. For some reason, I felt like there'd be one more, but no.
Yeah.
No.
We didn't
No.
need to be tortured by this game anymore anyway.
Yeah, but you finally confront your longtime villain, Dr. Bowsman, and he's got the pistons and the shock things and, a lot of electricity and machinery, which is exactly what you expect from Bowser. And the final boss is easy. It's ironically probably the best boss, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Probably.
It plays slightly differently than how I would have expected. Only a little bit though, not very much. Like the electricity moves just slightly different way, just enough that it felt a little fresh. But yeah, not too bad. I think probably because it's all in just a static room. There's not. It feels a little more polished somehow. I guess it's nice too that you can hit Dr. Bowsnick multiple times for some reason in a single cycle if you do it right, so you can get it over with faster. Yeah, I mean it's just a boss, but when you defeat the evil doctor, there's a great ending scene where they throw around the power stars, which you never had an opportunity to collect, but then they have this bone-chilling line, "The end. I will be back."
It's
Really chilled me to
epic
the
foreshadowing for the sequel to this game, which is of course John Wick Chapter 2. But
Of course.
yeah, and that's the game. Probably one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life.
Oh, for sure. I can see how this is a well-loved game that started an endlessly entertaining franchise.
One of my buddies tried to push a game on me called Outer Wilds. I played it for 10 minutes. It was dog shit. This is the real shit.
Yes, indeed. When I think of how great Mario is, I always compare it to Outer Wilds.
I mean, they're basically the exact same game, and that one's just like a worse version of this. You can't even roll.
Good point. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very comparable for that reason.
Well, with all that said, I think we're done talking about this game for tonight. If you like this video, feel free to share, comment, subscribe, criticize, kill me with a fire and burritos. And if you don't like this video, then please subscribe, like, comment, email me at this web zone if you want a pizza roll. And next time on Deep Dive World, we're going to be talking about Mario and the secret rings. And
This may seem a little weird, like you're in another timeline perhaps, but always remember Zario's words of comfort. And until the next time, hasta la vista, mista.
thank you all so much for watching. Have a great night, and take care.